Today I'm here to talk about dragons, mythological creatures that have all types of different forms in various cultures, but none as apparent as in Viking culture, better known as Norse mythology. They represent chaotic forces, evil, and danger. They convey the ideas of strength and bravery, which is why Vikings carved them not only to their ships, but homes and jewelries. The three most important dragons I consider are Jormungandr, the enemy of Thor; Nidhogg, the representation of chaos; and Fafnir, the hoarder of gold. Jormungandr is the enemy of Thor and destroyer of the 9 worlds. He is said to cause Ragnarok. He is a snake-like dragon that lives in the ocean that surrounds Midgard, the Earth realm. If he wanted to, he could circle the earth and bite his tail. He has venom-drenched teeth and a mouth big enough to eat a god, as cited by Professor Geller. Speaking of gods, he is the son of Loki and Angerboda, a giantess. As researcher McCoy stated, he is better known for his battle with Thor. One day, Thor decided to go after Jormungandr to try to stop the destruction of the 9 worlds with Heimrun, a giant. Heimrun, being scared, cut Thor's line as he was going down to catch Jormungandr. Their battle is recounted in many multiple different ways, but it always ends with Thor and Jormungandr fighting to the death. Jormungandr represents fear and strength, but the strongest dragon is Nidhogg. Nidhogg has bright scales with horns on his head, with forelegs with massive claws that rip away at the roots of Yggdrasil, the tree of life. He represents chaos and total evil. He lives at the base of Yggdrasil, tearing away at its ever-growing roots. He fights and argues with an eagle, who represents wisdom and virtue. A squirrel, luckily, keeps them both from ever reaching each other, only exchanging slurs between the two. As they frenzy away to reach each other at a grasp of taking the other one down, the tree of life always ends up healing itself at the end of the day. This battle represents growth from bad experiences, as cited from Professor Geller. Fafnir was also the inspiration for Tolkien, the dragon from Hobbit. Fafnir's story starts as him being a dwarf, but not just any dwarf, the prince of the dwarf kingdom. Fafnir, like his brothers, were shapeshifters. Fafnir took the shape as the dragon to protect their goal, while his brother Rimund was merely a craftsman, and his youngest brother Otro was a fisherman, and naturally he took the form of an otter. One day while Otro was fishing, Loki came by and saw his beautiful pelt and killed him. To repent for his crime, he was asked by the king dwarf, Hidmegard, to fetch the weight of gold from Otro. Now, Loki did repent for his crimes, but being the god of chaos, left a ring that was cursed, which caused Fafnir to kill his own father and make his brother run away. His story is a lesson that wealth is not to be hoarded but used to form bonds, as stated by Jessica S., an enthusiast in Norse mythology. Norse mythology not only tells of great dragons to avoid, but stories that can teach a lesson throughout time. Now you can see why Vikings used them as symbols to represent their culture. The great stories and legends of Norse dragon Jormungandr, the nemesis of Thor, Nidhogg, the strong, and Fafnir, hoarder of the gold, will never be forgotten.